1, 2, 3.
Are you a corrupt politician? Or am I being redundant?
Well, she sneaks around the world from Maryland to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filter from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on the boat to China. Tell me where in the world is
Jan Sanders?
there's only South Korea, making honey cook triangle from the Red Sea to Greenland. Will they singing the blues? Or will they never Arkansas still? The beat come from a jungle. Tell me where in the world is
Jan Sanders?
we go from Nashville to Norway, but air to Zimbabwe, Chicago to Czechoslovakia and back. Well, she'll ransack Pakistan and Afghanistan and Scandinavia, then just stick 'em up down under and go big pocket burden. She was Memphis and misdemeanor when she stole the beans from Lima. Tell me where in the world is
Jan Sanders?
tell me where in the world. Come on, tell me where can she be? Botswana to Thailand, Milan via Amsterdam, Bali to Bali, Ohio. Oh, whoa, ooh, the cheese. Ooh, the cheese. Monday to Friday at 5. She flies around the globe and jumping from every nation. She's a double-dealing diva with a taste for flavoring. Her itinerary's loaded with moving violations. Tell me where in the world is
Jan Sanders?
tell me where in the world is where in the world is. Tell me where in the world is where can she be? Where in the world is
Jan Sanders?
watch your back.
Hi, welcome back to the series here. I'm Nate Taves,
I'm Khoury.
and we are examining, as I blind myself, the... I have to explain this. We're sitting in a dark room with candles as our only light source, and I happen to have a battery-operated light that I just shone in my eyes. I'm trying to turn it on because I can't tell which end is up with this thing. Because I'm trying to read articles here as part of this podcast. So in the last section you heard about why the LD show got defunct and what happened with Janice Grill a little bit as far as the dismissal goes. So let's just delve a couple more minutes into the Janice Grill thing, and then we'll go into this next article, which is shorter than the last one, I guarantee that.
Yeah.
So the Janice Grill thing, we delve into who Janice Grill was. Yeah, Heidi Berkowitz was the alternative to Janice Grill as far as the writing center goes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I work better with Janice than Heidi. How about you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, not that Heidi was bad if you liked somebody to be extremely tough and extremely degrading on your stuff. But I would rather have a slit cut into the top of my big toe than go through another interaction with Berkowitz. So, yeah, how's that all relate to Jane Sanders? Well, let's see here. She dismissed Janice Grill without any really good reason as far as anybody could tell.
Yep.
And then when I went and questioned her about it, she said, well, I'm not at liberty to discuss that. It's a personnel issue. And I said, oh, really? Well, could you tell me what it concerned then? Because as somebody with a learning disability, I gotta say I benefited greatly from her being there. She said, well, that's odd because that's what it concerned. But I can't talk about it. And I said, well, you just said to me that personnel issue, and you just told me that it had something to do with learning disabilities. What did it have to do with learning disabilities? Well, she did something that wasn't very kosher with learning disability, and that's why she got dismissed, but I can't talk about it. You just told me something, but you just said that you can't talk about it. Well, I can't. Those are the kind of conversations I was having with her back and forth. And I said, well, look, for all intents and purposes, I've taped a couple of the BCSA meetings. I would like to know what your response is. Would you like to view the tapes and then get back to me with the response? Because there was nothing in those tapes that people weren't saying to her face.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, well, that's fine. Blah, 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 at the BCSA meetings. Well, I went up, gave her the tapes, and she said, yeah, all right, I'd like to view the tapes. Well, she never viewed the tapes, probably because she was making copies of them for herself, for her lawyer, but she claimed to have never viewed the tapes. And I said, well, look, technically those aren't my tapes because there was no sign in the back. I said, look, those are technically my tapes. I had to shell out of my pocket for them. I want them back. And it took Josh Lambert, Mary Vidham, and somebody else going up there before I got the tapes back. And, don't get me wrong, I don't bite the hand ever that feeds you, but, I was perfectly happy, it's deserved, but I was perfectly happy that they went up and fought on my behalf to get those tapes back. But does that, excuse them from the behavior of treating me as persona non grata and turning their backs on me when they could align themselves with the money of the college? I don't think so. And when I say persona non grata, I'll get into that in one of the next couple of episodes on this subject, because believe me, there's a lot to be said for that. But anyway, continuing right along. The next article in question. Burlington College President Jane Sanders, expanding vision, not just a pretty view. And this is from the Burlington College website. It says, Jane Sanders expands new campus vision. And it's transformational for Burlington College, quote-unquote. College President Jane Sanders says of the institution's recent move to from their old 95 North Ave campus, Chestnut Store to Casey's digs here, to their new digs at the former offices of the Burlington College, now owned, better known as Burlington Catholic Diocese at 351 North Avenue. Much bigger campus. Very nice looking, and overrun by pedophiles was the rumor as to how they got the building. Now, my understanding, without reading the next part of this thing, is that the building was put on a finance plan by Jane, so not all of it's paid off, and they're looking to try to open the old wing of the building now. Have you got any solicitation of funds for that one yet?
No, but who buys a building and then moves in there before the entire building is useful, when only one part of it's useful,
Right.
And, and granted, yeah, you do need to start it because of occupancy, because of what the years of which one part was built versus the other, and I understand that, but move over a time in which it's all useful, not just one part is useful. And of course, work did go on, or work has been going with the older part of the building, which has stopped and will not resume until Burlington College sells the housing over there near the old campus in order to be able to continue the construction, the rewiring, the plumbing, or whatever else needs to go on with the older part of the building.
Now, to be fair, just to name what we're talking about, they have properties at Lakeview Terrace. They have properties on Haswell Street, a red building, and they have Palm House and Haswell House on Haswell. And they have a little white decrepit shack where an old lady was found dead in the basement on Lakeview. And that's what they have to sell off. Oh, yeah, I haven't to mention that shack is not inhabitable because of all the mold that's in there. That's probably what killed the owner. Anyway. So, that was my understanding of the thing, and you and I seem to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So it says it's fabulous. We're leaving a 16,000 square foot building on 2 acres to a 77,000 square foot building on 34 acres. Instead of Lakeview, we've got Lakefront. That's a quote from Jane.
But like I said, we move in, only able to use one part of the building. Then work is started on the other part of the building, and then that has to stop until you can get some stuff sold in order to continue the work. I mean, really, who does that,
Right. The move makes Burlington College the only Vermont college with a beach. Okay, what was the point in that beach? And then, Gene goes on to say that I guess, people were, worried about it, but then we took the students there and they went, after an hour of playing frisbee and juggling on the beach and said, we can live with this. That's a somewhat direct quote and somewhat summary of what she said. Intents of a paragraph. Burlington College was founded in 1972, by the way. So, that's mostly that article. Just to finish it, in May 2010, Burlington College purchased, in May 2010, Burlington College purchased the property for $10 million. It says Sanders. They showed it to several people at a higher asking price, $12.5 million. They weren't deed restrictions, so a developer could have put in 600 condos on the waterfront or something. Part of the reason for the diocese was happy offering the property to us was a lower price that we would have had an education mission that services the community. Let's make something perfectly clear here, Colonel. Services the community how? That's the part you never dare to say. You know why? Because she doesn't even know. How? Explain to me. In our time at Burlington College, how did we benefit the community? You can't come up with an answer for that, can you? Because I can't. I know that much.
And this is all her doing. And also, I want to say that all the craziness, the lunacy, the whatever you want to say,
Yes.
all